on the first day, God did a bunch of stuff. On the second day, he did more stuff. The third day, and then on the sixth day, he rested. You know what he did on the seventh day? Party. He made the all effing wrestling show. What do we have on the show today?
We got a buttload of stuff. We got news. Then we scour the internet on this website called Quora, where we find questions and we give you answers. The Q&A is back, baby. All this and more on the All Effing Wrestling Show. Hit it.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Good afternoon. Good morning, afternoon. If I don't see you till later, open up said oven, stick my dinner in it, close said oven, and keep it warm. I am, of course, your candidate. Vote JFB in 2024. My platform, Make Wrestling Fun Again. Number one, I am exporting Hulk Hogan to Brazil. We're just sending him. He's.
I was worried you were sending him to Canada. I'm like, we're not taking him.
Oh, no. I would not do that to Canada. I would only do that to Venezuela or Brazil. I don't like their butt lifts, and I don't like their bikinis. Anyways, I am, of course, lights, camera.
Wait a second. You don't like Brazil's bikinis? The best bikinis in the world.
Yeah, that's true. But I have to have a platform of hate.
Yeah. And I am, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada effing dry. And I'd like to give a shout out.
Yeah.
The man with the worst takes. He's my good friend, but he's got some pretty bad takes. Bad take, Cade.
Horrible takes.
Oh, for sure.
And, the threat upon which he is bestowed upon us is that his takes are going to be 125% more bad than they already are. I can't handle it. I don't know.
He had a shirt in our pro wrestling team. We got complaints.
Yeah.
We had to take the shirt down.
Yeah.
People didn't want that shirt up there.
Yeah, it was controversial.
That's a first.
Yeah, that's a first. Because we're a t-shirt company that does a podcast here.
Yeah, they're like, we have people threatening to not support us anymore if that shirt didn't stay. So we had to take it down.
We had to take it down. Corporate made the call to Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees says, "Who's this again?" And she's like, "It's Helen from HR. Get that shit down." And sure enough, it's no longer there. Speaking of shirts, how would you like to pick up a shirt? I know Canada Dry's got a brand new shirt. The effing Bullet. The effing Bullet, man. That is absolutely amazing. I love
it. Call the Bullet.
That's what they called it, the DC Comics Bullet, because it looked like.
I didn't know. I'm calling the Red Shield. I don't know.
Yeah, they called it the Bullet. Okay. Anyways, we are joined by two distinguished colleagues. Coming in at number 9, he started off as a reliever. He's now a full-blown starter. I believe he's 17-0, leads the league of strikeouts, ERA. His whip is beyond imagination, and he's also leading the league in hit batsmen. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing you Showtime Shane.
Thanks for having me on today, gentlemen. So shoulders a little sore, so I'm playing more the designated hitter role today, like a Tommy.
Okay.
Hey, he
Okay,
just
because
hit the
last
pitch.
night you ended the game with that 4-run homer and we lost.
It happens.
Yeah,
It happens. Hey, Kenny Powers giving up some bad hits.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Otani, did you see David Ortiz says he shouldn't win the MVP award because all he does is DH?
Yeah. I agree.
that's you don't see honesty like that in sports very often.
If you're not going to give it to David Ortiz, if you're not going to give it to Big Papi when he was leading the league in home runs, RBIs, and was third in batting average because he played DH, then Shohei Ohtani doesn't deserve it. But that's not.
I can make the argument that maybe he should have, because you can't just disregard a whole position in baseball just because you don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, look at Desmond Howard won because he played safety at Michigan and he won the Heisman Trophy. He returned a few punts for touchdowns, but I digress. Anyway.
When is the National League going to bring in the DH?
They already did.
They already did.
Oh, they don't have pitchers that bad
They've been there for a couple of years now.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now there's no difference between the American League and the National League.
No.
I kind of missed that pitcher's batting, to be brutally honest.
There's something about like a 6'4", scrawny, 185-pound starting pitcher who just ropes one right over the fence. You're like, how did that even happen?
Well, because it's like Tommy was like a pitcher, I believe, when he started.
It was almost like automatic out though. Whenever the pitcher was coming up, okay, next. So it's like
not always. There's some pretty good hitting pitchers.
Yeah. The guy below me, he's one of those damn pitchers that can hit home runs left and right. I'm talking about none other than the EVP, the commish, as he is more known now because he is the commissioner of the AFW Prediction League. We're talking about EVP Joe.
What is up, gentlemen? And just to let you know, JFB, your voice and video are not synced up. You are lagging something fierce.
Yeah, I'm in a bad area. My Wi-Fi doesn't always work.
We have to put in a call to Helen to get you a hotspot or something.
Oh, Helen gets nasty this time of year.
Yeah,
she gets that when fall hits and winter. She gets that seasonal defective disorder.
Yeah,
I mean that doesn't excuse our corporate overlords from not providing us the tools to do the job efficiently.
I mean, I concur. So before we get started with the main event, which is my favorite segment called the Q&A, we have to go over some stuff. And one of those things that we like to do is the news. From the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home, this is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. Waka, 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 what you gonna do? Here's the news. Everybody's favorite Puerto Rican sons, Epico and Primo Colon, are going to be wrestling in TNA. Now, they have not signed long-term contracts. They're there for a couple of TV tapings, and that's it. But these guys could legitimately win NWA Tag Champions because they win the
TNA.
Oh, I meant TNA. No, I'm sorry, it's TNA. Yes, TNA.
No, it's NWA.
It's
You're
NWA.
Right.
Sorry.
You're right the second time.
Yes, NWA. Yeah. So these guys could win the NWA tag belts. That would be pretty freaking amazing. So Dakota Kai is close to coming back after she tore her meniscus in her knee. Let's just say she can't get a break to save her life. Like, I feel bad.
Her knee.
Yeah. I mean, how many surgeries does she have on her knee? 4, as far as I could tell.
Yeah. Right.
Let's talk about Britt Baker for a second. We saw the promo on Collision, DMD. She is not wrestling a Grand Slam, but she is wrestling at the 5th anniversary show.
Yeah, it seems like she's wrestling Serena Deeb.
Yeah, she's wrestling Serena Deeb. I'm interested to see where they're going to take Britt. I think that between the horrible match at All In against Mercedes Moné, which says a lot about wrestling Mercedes Moné, but I feel like, in all honesty, I think her time in AEW is coming to a close. I don't think they're gonna promote her to the levels that she was when she was first there. I think the women's division has outgrown her, and I think it's either she's going to TNA or she's going to WWE. And it's probably made easier with the fact that her and Adam Cole are no longer together, that they have broken up. So, Canada Dry, your thoughts on Britt
Baker? Yeah, I don't know if she's like. I think that's a little premature to say that she's out. She's not going to be with AEW anymore. I think as long as she's under contract, I think that they'll find a use for her. But TK has to be wise to the fact that she's just not a good wrestler. She's good on the mic. She's a good character, but she's not a good wrestler. And I think TK is wise to that now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I think she's outgrown her welcome. I don't think she's going to be there anymore. What about you, Showtime Shane? Shane.
Yeah, I think she's worn out her welcome, but if she does go WWE. It'd be interesting though, because hello?
Yeah.
Hello? You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, you guys hear me now? Okay. Yeah, I think her time's coming now. I think though, like she did wear out her welcome of AEW, but it's interesting because there's been rumors that the whole reason Cody left was because of like Brandy and her beef. That's one rumor. We don't know how true it is. So it's like if she does go WWE bound, are they going to make sure to keep her on separate rosters from Cody then at that point, or?
Yeah,
I'm not buying that rumor, by the way.
I'm not buying it either. Let's go to Joe.
Infinite.
We got some serious lag issues here.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to back out and come right back in because I think there's really something screwy in mine.
Let's go to Joe. Joe, your thoughts?
Oh, to be honest, I don't care. I mean, she hasn't done anything of interest in forever.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's my problem with, like, it feels like women's wrestling in general in both companies, WWE and AEW. It's like, if you're not involved in the title scene, you're just there.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
So.
Very much so. All right, let's go to our next bit of news. Jeff Hardy actually paid homage to Bray Wyatt at a recent TNA tapings. I have the picture of what it was.
I've seen it floating around Facebook.
And I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it up right here. That's it right there. So this is at the recent TNA tapings where Bray Wyatt was paid homage to by Jeff Hardy. Matt said it was really good that they got the chance to give him that kind of homage. Let's go to our next one. Booker T says he ran into Punk. We had words, but there is no beef. That's really weird coming from Booker T, who has a beef with pretty much everybody. Like, he's the Vince Russo of WWE. And he's got beef with everybody. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
Well, they did have a beef, but apparently that was CM Punk's mission when he went to WWE is to kind of smooth things over.
Yeah.
With some of the people that he had beefs with, and everyone so far, even with Drew McIntyre, even though they don't see eye to eye, they're still working professionally together. So, did you see the thing where CM Punk was banned from the Riot Festival?
I did. I'm not sure what was the story behind it.
I guess it's a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
Because he would sneak in, and that's part of their thing as the list of rules, and then no CM Punk. It's just kind of a gag.
All
yeah,
right.
It's been a running joke apparently for years, and then when he sneaks in, it's a big deal.
Well,
Probably
the
crowd surfing when he comes in or something. I'm not too sure.
yeah,
But there's been wrestling matches going on during that event too.
Yeah, NWA is part of it.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen stuff off of Brian Idle's page.
yeah. Let's go to our next really quick one. Xavier Woods dropped a cryptic tweet, if you will, recently talking about. This is, mind you, that this is in the middle of an implosion of the New Day. The New Day are going to split, ladies and gentlemen. It's just inevitable.
Yeah.
Xavier Woods mentioned that a couple of his buddies from the streets might be coming down to WWE. And, of course, he wrestled in TNA, and one of the teams he wrestled with was Motor City Machine Guns in TNA. And so there's a good chance this cryptic tweet is about something we already know. This is what I like to call my no duh segment. Hey, Xavier Woods, no duh. All right, anyways, let's
Now I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Now, would you rather just a sudden turn, or do you want the turn to have a build up like this?
I
Because
think I want the sudden
sometimes-
turn.
Yeah, I don't like don't telegraph the whole thing. Like we know that the turn is coming.
Yeah.
So like there seems to be no surprises anymore.
I agree. Anybody else want to join in?
I really don't care. I don't pay attention enough to Raw.
No, I'm talking
Going
about
on.
wrestling altogether.
No,
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we get that you get that sometimes in AEW, like especially with Moxley. No one saw him really turning on Danielson when he did. I think we all thought it would happen, just not them. So
yeah.
No, but which do
Exactly.
you prefer? Do you want them to put breadcrumbs down, or do you
I
want
prefer a mix of both.
Yeah.
I agree.
I enjoy the shock of a turn, but I also really enjoy the satisfaction of knowing it was coming. And even though I know it's coming, it's still brutal and heartbreaking because you're still, in the long run, you're still telling stories.
Yeah.
You want to get that emotion out of the fans.
Well, right now it seems like they're doing that with SmackDown with Kevin Owens. Like they keep planting the seed where he's giving Cody the look from behind when he's holding a chair and stuff like that. So eventually he's gonna turn on Cody probably or something along those lines.
And you know what? Cody deserves it.
Yeah.
Cody deserves to be turned on.
Wait. Why does Cody deserve to be turned on?
He's
Because
sleeping with the
working
devil.
with Roman Reigns. And
Yeah.
how long did Randy Orton and KO help Cody fend off the bloodline?
And
now
also
he's
feud
working
with
hand
Reigns.
in hand with them.
Yeah.
And this is after 2 hours of SmackDown where he says, I'm done with the bloodline. I'm not doing anything anymore. And then 2 hours later, with no explanation on the show, oh, let me sign the contract to be your tag partner of Bad Blood. It's bad storytelling.
Yeah, that confused me. He said he wasn't, and then all of a sudden he did.
Yeah.
So Miro has asked for his AEW release. He used to be a guy a long time ago that held the TNT Championship 2 times. He went by the name Miro. Do you remember seeing him? I don't remember seeing him. It's been ages. But anyways, he's asked for his release from AEW. Does he go back to WWE or does he go somewhere else? Get in the dry.
Yeah, Miro is a tough one because his stories, they all went nowhere.
Yeah.
The gaming one was was interesting, and then he was your Redeemer, which I didn't mind. The Redeemer one, it wasn't bad, and then he's got a beef with his god. That's where it got confusing.
Yeah.
It didn't make
So
sense.
I think that the guy needs to be released. Save that money for someone else. Save that TV time for someone like Brian Cage.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about you, Showtime?
I think he's done. I don't think even there's a spot for him on the WWE roster because that's a bloated roster right now. Look what's happened with Andrade.
Yeah.
It's really, he's gone somewhat nowhere at the moment and stuff like that with his big return. So I honestly would like to see Miro go somewhere like New Japan for a while, or not a full-time contract, but I'd like to see him get dirty in a place like that for a little bit while, or circuits along that nature.
I like that. Joe.
I don't think there's a place in wrestling for him as long as he has this greater than thou. I'm not going to put anybody over. I'm too good to lose attitude. Just
Yeah,
because he came from, which it seems like because he came from WWE, he thinks he's too good to put anybody over.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently he had the opportunity to run a program with freaking John Moxley, the top guy in AEW, and you say no?
Yeah.
You're a moron.
Yep.
Yeah, like I wonder if WWE is the a good place for him. You know, you bring back Lana, you bring back Rusev Day.
Yeah,
it would be good for a little bit of a nostalgia.
They broke up. They're not
Yeah,
even.
they're divorced. They're
No,
divorced.
but you can still have to be the manager.
No. I don't think Rusev is going to be okay with that. He doesn't strike like he wasn't even working with Lana in AEW when they were still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
So
were
they were probably in
up.
separation mode then. To be brutally honest, they could have been in start planting the seeds then before they're divorced, because it just wasn't. They just heard, oh, boom, they're divorced or divorced.
Caleb thinks he deserves to be in TNA.
Sure,
I don't see why not. I think he would flourish in TNA.
He
as
also
long as he
thinks
doesn't bring
I
that
think
up.
deserves
the
is a
wood
strong
should be in
word.
the Judgment Day.
Ha!
No,
I think the word deserves is a bit strong with Miro. I think he should have to earn his way
yeah,
because he has
And
shown that
JP
he's not a team player at the moment.
Oh,
Jeffy has some
absolutely.
bad news for you.
What's that?
Apparently, I killed ECW.
Oh my God! Damn
Sorry.
it! Canada Dry. I knew
bastard.
it. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the show forever. Helen, I'm turning in my 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah,
And Mappy says, "Hi guys."
Bye, guys.
Hey, buddy.
All right, let's go to two more really quick news articles. Ken Shamrock was recently asked about a Hall of Fame induction in WWE. He said it'd be a thrill. And now, usually we want to end on something a little more fun or a little bit more pleasant, some happy news. Well, I decided to go down the strange and unusual path of called frivolous lawsuits. Here we go. WWE is being sued by a man who accused Vince and Stephanie of dressing up in disguise as agents to steal his ideas for creative.
I feel like I've heard this before.
Yeah. He's suing Shane, Vince, Stephanie, and Linda McMahon. By the way, who he said he tried that he was successful in making her win her Senate seat. Ladies and gentlemen,
She never
This guy
won.
belongs in a padded room.
she was not a senator. She was the administrator on the cabinet of Trump for small businesses, which we all know WWE. That's a small business. She knows everything about small business.
Caleb killed
killed
Stampede Wrestling.
I'm
Caleb.
surprised they even know what Stampede Wrestling is over in Japan.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, in Japan.
So the man is suing WWE for $100,000.
That's
This
it.
is likely to go nowhere.
That's it. Just $100,000.
$100,000. Hey, they got deep pockets. All right, guys. I'm happy for Triple H. He deserves, what did he say? He deserves
He
what?
deserves more creative things. I hate Vince.
Oh, God. All right. Anyways, speaking of which,
Bad take, Caleb.
bad take Bane.
Yeah.
I was like, BTC has a new meeting now. It's not Bad Take Cade.
Yeah, bad take Kane. Bane.
We need more patriotic American wrestlers.
We need to bring the Patriot back. That was a great. They used Kurt Angle's, ripped off his theme with Kurt Angle later on.
Yeah,
That was a great character. He was a great wrestler, man. I remember I just watched a match with him the other day. I can't remember against who, but he was.
His match
I'm
with
gonna
Bret
say
Hart was
this.
underrated.
You're right.
I do not like speaking ill of the dead, but of all the wrestlers I have ever met in my entire life, the biggest douche canoe ever is Del Wilkes, the Patriot. That guy was a gaping a-hole from start to finish. This guy who was charging, mind you, you had a pre-sale. It was $25 for an autograph on it in a picture. It was $25 for an autograph on a 8x10 that only he would sign. He would not sign anything of yours. It was $50 for a picture. It was $75 for a combination of both. This man berated kids in line. This guy talked crap to every person and seemed like he was annoyed that people wanted to have their picture taken. Asshole.
Yeah, for a guy that had a cup of coffee in the WWF,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I just literally read Scott Steiner doing that exact story the other, like earlier today, and apparently even telling a woman with a special needs child in a wheelchair to hurry up when taking the picture. Like, wow.
Yeah.
What?
There are special guys. I met Scott Steiner once and didn't have a bad interaction with him. I met him at
Shoney's.
some restaurant that I went to, that he was there, and I waited till he was finished eating. I didn't interrupt him while he was eating, even though there were a bunch of people who did, because I mean, let's face it, Scott freaking Steiner, the guy is a golem.
I was
Huge.
like, he's hard to miss.
Yeah. And I waited till he was done. He was sipping his coffee. I walked up to him and said, Mr. Steiner, hey, my name is James. Big fan of yours. Was wondering maybe if I could get a picture. He says, yeah, no problem. Stood up, put his arm around me, took a picture. Boom. That was it.
Speaking of Scott Steiner, I saw a story earlier this week that the WWF could have been vastly different, but there was a push when Scott Steiner and Rick first came to the WWF for him to win the Rumble that Yokozuna was going to win. Like, there was some talks about, like, to shake up everything. Obviously, it didn't happen.
Scott was going to go with singles?
Yeah, apparently they wanted to, yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea if you really think about it.
Well,
I mean, outside of Steiner math, I mean, he can cut promos. And
what are you talking about? Steiner math is the greatest promo ever. Come on now.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
85. Yeah. All right, guys, it's time to go to our favorite part. We'll talk about the main event. And with that, I think we should go ahead and hit the music.
This is the main event of the evening.
So for those who are not familiar with our last month's version of the Q&A, which is this right here, you have questions, we have answers. I subscribed years ago to Quora under our banner and said, bring your questions, I shall answer them to generate interest in our podcast. I scoured the nether regions, if you will, for the great questions that are pondering people's brains about professional wrestling. And so I'm going to ask the question. I will pose the answer to you guys in sequence. And my first question is this. What do you think about what Danielson said about the genius of Roman Reigns and WWE's booking of him and everyone else? So a few months ago, Danielson was on a podcast, talked about how he thought the Roman Reigns storyline was brilliant. It was pure genius. They are booking better than they ever have before. He glowed about WWE. Canada Dry, what are your thoughts about Danielson's remarks on the Roman Reigns?
What did he say?
He said that Roman Reigns was doing an amazing job as in his booking and his character, and that he had an amazing 3-year run. He said WWE is booking better than it ever has before. They're putting out great product. He just glowed about them.
Well, yeah, Roman Reigns is as close to a megastar as you can get.
Yeah.
You know, the way they protected him, the way they made him that Godfather character.
Yeah.
Like he was when they were trying to make him a face, it was going against them. It wasn't working. So you turn him heel. Yeah, you make him this badass with this group around him. Bit of God, like it was brilliant. And now they're going to reap the benefits of a face Roman Reigns after the heel turn. No one knows how much they love you until you go through that character of being a bad guy and now you're a good guy. So now he's going to get the authentic love rather than forced down your throat love. So
Yeah.
I agree with Brian Danielson. Roman Reigns and that character, they struggled a bit, but they did it right with heel Roman.
Yeah. Let's go with Showtime Shane.
You know, it's funny too. Like back when they were trying to make Roman Reigns a star, the biggest problem was they pretty much kept him in the Shield gear. We're in. It's hard to keep it's hard to see him as a superstar when he's still wearing this knockoff bulletproof vest or whatever to the ring all the time and stuff for that.
Yeah,
I still think he needs to wear tights or something. That's a different discussion, but back then it was so hard, and then the crowd didn't like it because it just felt forced, which it really was. But then he naturally progressed. He naturally made himself a star, especially his promo skills got a lot better. Promo skills sucked back in the day. Let's face it. Those evolved over the years. And as much as I hated this one, what helped sells his character, especially being that heel, it's like that WrestleMania when he stacked Daniel Bryan and Edge and pinned them both at the same time in that three-way. That made him really perfectly hated then. That was such a that was a perfect picture to ending to a match. As much as it sucks seeing both those guys take the pinfall. But yeah, you know what? Now I just can't wait to see what's going to go on because he's going to be even though he's still they're making him a face now, he's not playing it. It's more like he's an anti-hero now.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe.
Yeah, so I look at this two ways. One, the Roman Reigns Bloodline story was really good, but it was so good that it made everything else at WWE suck in comparison.
Yeah, that was the problem. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I know you can tell a good story. You should do it for everybody else, not just for one guy.
Yeah.
Especially for WWE, who is very much more story driven than they are wrestling driven.
Yeah.
JP, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And it comes from Matt B. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
An instrument of destruction for my colon, yes.
You can make some funny sounds if you stick your fist in the jar.
Oh, whoa. What are you putting your fist in the jar of mayonnaise?
So you can scream at little kids, don't make me get my hand out of this mayonnaise jar, boys. Got my lawn.
This one's for EVP Joe. What are your thoughts on Mina Shirakawa in AEW?
I don't know. She's only been there a couple times. She hasn't really done much. I think she's a great wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, I very much look forward to the story that they're going to have with her and Mariah May because they're both easy on the eyes to look at. So,
And this one's
I can't believe it. Did I speak of her first for a second? I can't believe she's 37. I just found that out. So once again, while he's the proper term, it shows Asian women age really well sometimes. She looks like less than 27 for God's sakes.
Yeah, she looks very good.
Yeah.
And then the question for you, Shane. What are your thoughts on Finn Balor turning on Damian Priest?
I mean, that was one of those ones when we're talking about seeds being planted where it was going to be obvious it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to happen, though, because especially the fact that you had Priest as the champion for a while and the jealousy of the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
So it had to happen. That's what I guess it was good in the long run. But then they kind of they're still telling the story, but it's somewhat kind of a weak story right now.
Rhea Ripley legit cried when the original Judgment Day was breaking up.
Yeah.
She was upset, and they had a good cry, and then but it means bigger and better things because now Rhea and Damian Priest, they seem to be a little bit bigger stars.
Yeah.
Can we talk about why are they the faces and called the
Terror
Twins? Who is in charge of these nicknames in WWE? The Trash Pandas? What is, or whatever they're calling the Judgment Day?
I'm gonna say this:
Street Trash, not the Trash Pandas.
Whatever.
Trash Pandas is the name of a craft beer over here.
It's not Triple H. I guarantee it's Bruce Pritchard.
He sucks.
Is he
Trash
still
pandas are
around?
raccoons for the record.
What'd
Let's
you say,
go to our
Canada?
next. Huh?
Trash pandas are raccoons.
What is? It's all the same. They all sucky nicknames.
Here's the next question from Curora. It says, "How can the Undertaker record at WrestleMania be described?" Canada, you go first.
How can it be described?
Yeah.
Unbeatable.
Yeah.
Like no one. I don't think it'll ever be. You won't be able to ever beat that one. I don't think. There's no way.
So if you could beat it, who would you pick to beat it?
Oh, now I don't think there's anyone that.
Yeah, there's a lot of
There's no one that suits that record right now, and I think I can't say that there ever will be, but
No, you have to pick somebody. Don't take the cheap way out. We're here to give the answers.
yeah, but it's almost impossible because a lot of major guys right now have all took L's in Mania
I
already.
got one for you. Let it be Braun Breaker.
no,
Yes.
horrible, no, that guy. You know what? There should be a rule. If you come in with a bad spray tan, you're send him home.
But that's everybody in WWE.
No.
You know
Braun
what?
Breaker is the worst.
Yeah.
But that can be
That
fixed.
orange
That's
on
a very
Braun Breaker.
That's an
He looks
easily
like a
fixable
Cheeto.
thing.
Actually, I gotta probably Gunther because wouldn't he be 2-0 right now of Mania?
He's too
Yeah.
old.
Yeah, that's a huge problem right there. So you can
No, I'm not.
5-0. Oh,
All right, let's go to
The one
Showtime.
guy I would have done would have been Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But he died.
yeah.
God.
All right, Shane, your turn.
Oh, what was the question again?
How would you describe the
Take a
Undertaker's
streak of
record?
Mania. Yeah, one word. Magical.
Yeah.
Seriously, there was not much because it was a fluke. It was actually a fluke first. They said started off as a fluke, and then then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's 10-0. Well, let's just keep having. And then apparently they were originally going to have Copeland beat him, but he said no. I don't want no part of that.
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah, it's great, but it was started as a fizzle and ends as a bang. The first half, you don't need to see any of his matches from the first half of his streak. They're all horrible matches. You start with maybe Randy Orton and go forward, and that's when the streak gets good.
Oh, Bossman and Hell in a Cell was brutal, man. Yeah. And then that ending was pretty disturbing too.
Well, not just that. The first match against Jimmy Fly Snuka was horrible. Giant Gonzalez is arguably the worst match in Mania history. As much as I love Charles Wright, him as Kamo, that was bad. His whole
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake was okay. It wasn't like it's not something I would go out of my way to see, but if you catch it on, that's fine. But it's not like he's facing Orton, Batista, Edge, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, like the late 2010s. That's the must-see part of the streak.
Yeah.
So.
All right, JP, I got a question for you from the fans.
Let's do it.
Who would have win in a fight, Bigfoot or Chris Jericho?
Bigfoot by a landslide.
Yeah.
Brother is 8 foot something tall. Pure muscular mass. The only way you can get rid of a Bigfoot is by pointing at him, go, get out of here. No one loves you. And then he just walks away. I learned that from hearing that.
I guarantee you, Bigfoot is no selling the Judas effect.
And the fact is, you could probably take the entire tree of Jericho or whatever he calls his group now, including with Big Bill, Big Tall Big Bill, or Redwood or whatever his name is now.
Yeah, he'd destroy them all.
They would, you would just,
Caleb Bain has a question for everyone.
Yeah.
What's your favorite feud in wrestling? So I guess this could be of all time.
Oh, jeez, of all time.
I got one. When we're talking about just great feuds, it's got to be Sting and Ric Flair. Like that's a feud that went on from all the way to the very end of WCW. I mean, that was the last match of Monday Nitro was Sting versus Ric Flair. I mean, you could say Steamboat, but Ric Flair and Sting wrestled way more than that. So I'm going to go with that.
One of my most entertaining feuds that I really enjoyed watching was Jericho and Shawn Michaels, where he threw Michaels through the Jeritron 5000.
Punched his wife.
Accidentally punched his wife.
And it lasted. This feud lasted like almost a year. It was so good.
What about you, Shane?
Brett and Austin, or maybe more modern, Omega and Okada.
Yeah,
because they went over 60 minutes. Or they went 60 minutes one time and over 60 minutes another time. Like, yeah,
but yeah, you can't go wrong with Brett versus Austin.
Oh no, that for entertainment,
Austin into a star.
Especially entertainment wise, there were some deep promos behind it. Especially when Austin's like, you could put a nest in front of Hitman, and that's what you think about. What I think about him and stuff like that. Like he just cut ruthless promos about Stu, and everybody was a piece of trash from the Hart family. And oh man, it was
all about those sunny days. Joe, who are you going with?
I'm gonna go with like a feud that I don't know how Canada Dry probably isn't very familiar with it, but the Bullet Club Civil War. I absolutely love that. Love that story. The way it started and then how it ends with the Bucks as IWGP champions and coming out to put the belt around Kenny, and they finally getting back together, which leads us to the Golden Elite with Kota Ibushi before they all left to join AEW.
Yeah,
I talk about, for anyone who says the Bucks and Kenny don't tell stories, go watch that.
Yep.
Yes, that was absolutely beautiful, especially the way God got them. Like,
oh god, I remember that. Like they just blasted them at the end of a show. Oh,
like the fact they're all at the entrance and you just see boom, and Haku was involved in that too, man. That was a beautiful future.
So let's get back to Cora. What's our next question?
The next question is this: how would a match between Gunther and Brock Lesnar be? Canada Dry, you go first.
I think that match would, as long as Brock Lesnar could have, because he's known for short matches, and Gunther can go quite a long time. So as long as you can go at least 15 minutes, I would love to have watched this match.
Yeah.
Could we potentially still get this match? Like this could headline a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It would. Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, I think we'll find out once the Janelle Grant bullshit is done. Once they decide what's going to happen with her and her lawsuit, since he's kind of named but not really named by name, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, WWE is just waiting for the smoke to clear a bit.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, until there's empirical proof that he was involved, I mean, at this point, it's just hearsay. So let's go to Showtime. Shane, your thoughts?
It would be a sick match. I would want to see it, especially on a Mania. But I would definitely have to say, like Gunther would have to be the one to be put over in it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, Lesnar doesn't got really anything to prove left in his career. Well, Gunther, they're still building him, especially as a world champion right now.
Yeah. What about you, Joe?
I mean, it depends on which Lesnar we getting.
Yeah.
Are we getting Lesnar versus an AJ Styles or Bryan Danielson? Or are we getting Lesnar from his WrestleMania match against Dean Ambrose where he was lazy and didn't do anything?
Yeah.
And that's my big knock on Brock Lesnar. He has all the talent in the world. He's I loved him wrestling in the early 2000s when he first came, but ever since he went to the UFC and came back and they treat him like the special star, I find his matches very lazy, very boring.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, and they're usually very short.
Yeah, that too.
But even that
Like I
one
said-
main event against Roman Reigns when he did like, what was it, 10, 15 F5s, that was a very lazy match because all it was him doing a bunch of German suplexes. I was
Now
pissed
that-
watching that WrestleMania, man. I'm like, that's a main event? Are you kidding me?
Now, with that said, if you want to keep Gunther a heel, give me Brock Party Brock back when he had Money in the Bank, when he was dancing on screen. Could you imagine if he acted like that and you had Gunther trying to be the ring general? Oh, that would be some good promos back and forth, I think.
Oh my god!
So is Brock Lesnar going to come back with his tractor again?
Yeah,
Maybe.
why not? Why not? All right, let's go to our next question. How impressed are you with Jacob Fatu so far? Canada Dry, you go first.
Jacob Fatu, to me, he makes the bloodline legitimate. Because without Jacob, this is not the real bloodline.
Yeah.
But he's the one that makes it legitimate. And I can see somewhere down the road where Jacob Fatu feuds with Solo Sikoa.
Oh, I could too. Easily. Absolutely. Showtime Shane.
You know, he's like a perfect psychopath. He's got the best facial manner. He really is like reincarnation of Umaga, minus a little bit slender and a lot more athletic. But I mean, man, he could go and do those powerhouse moves that Umaga used to do too. But he's a stud. That's the best way to put it right now. He's a stud. He's a breath of fresh air of what we've seen in the WWE in the last while.
Let's go to Joe.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not be impressed by Jacob Fatu? Like, I agree with both these guys. Like, I think that's also the problem is that he is so good that he makes Solo look amateur in comparison.
Yeah.
Like, Solo, like, when I see he just doesn't look ready for the moment, whereas Jacob Fatu he oozes the charisma that it takes to be the leader.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. We have a question from Kush.
What is your favorite wrestling title of all time?
This should be good.
As someone who's a belt collector, my favorite belt has been and always will be 10 pounds of gold from the NWA. That is the epitome of what it means to be a champion. We're talking decades, multiple decades of this belt being around. It is a beautiful, beautiful belt.
I agree with
And
you,
what
Jay.
would you give honorable mention to?
Honorable mention, the IWGP Intercontinental belt for me is huge. That's like the Intercontinental in WWE. It's the working man's belt, you know, and the guys who won it were not the flashiest guys. Nakamura multiple times. He wasn't super flashy, but he got the job done, and that's why you put that belt on him. So
I would say that my favorite would be the Winged Eagle.
Yeah.
Just because it was my favorite time in wrestling.
Yeah.
And honorable mention goes to the current AEW title. I adore this thing, especially with the side plates now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Showtime Shane.
Well, since it was only an honorable mention, this won't be a steal. I'll have to say my favorite belt is probably AEW. No. It's the ECW World Title belt.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
And you're giving honorable mention to AEW?
Yeah. And then that's actually stealing the same honorable mention.
That's all right. We can have the same opinions.
The Lance Storm U.S. title. The Canadian title. The Lance Storm Canadian title that was sticker over the U.S. title.
Can I be serious for a minute?
Joe.
You guys know I've said this before. Probably my favorite title, the first one that always comes to mind, is the early 90s WCW United States Heavyweight title.
Yeah.
I just love how it looks. And yeah, like I'm going to give my honorable mention is the current AEW World Title. I love it. It looks like something befit of a top guy.
Yeah.
But a shout out JFB to the NWA World Title. You know it's a great title when it spawns how everybody in today's wrestling holds the title.
Yeah.
With the one arm like this, like it's
And
just
it's
in a suit.
What?
Yep.
NWA started the shoulder thing.
No, not over the
No,
shoulder.
they hold
but
it. They hold
holding
it.
it in one arm like this.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because there was always Ric Flair, all the names always just held that title in reverence.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was important.
All right, let's go to our next question. And this is from Cure, and it is, what are some wrestlers that were never given enough opportunities in the WWE? Maybe
just go with one.
Go with one.
Yeah. There's so many. So I think someone that comes to mind. I'm gonna go with a really cheap answer. I'm gonna go with Swerve Strickland because he didn't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
In WWE and showed what he could do.
Yeah.
And WWE was like, oh, we really missed the ball on that one.
Yeah, we fumbled on the goal line for sure.
Yeah.
Showtime Shane.
one that's currently still on the roster, Kevin Owens. Like after that start, like they screwed him on that world title run, and I don't even want to get into that because that's. But anyways, even just currently, yes, I know he said he didn't want to win the Intercontinental title ever again due to the fact that like Owen Hart, he has the exact same days holding the title as Owen Hart.
Yeah,
but still, even like U.S. title, or like I think he should be back in the world title picture at some point. Like,
okay, let's go with Joe.
Wade Barrett.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good one. Good answer.
Vastly
yeah.
underrated. Not
Yeah.
used how he should have been. Part of that is John Cena's problem for burying the Nexus like he did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like putting him in a comedy tag team match with Cody as Stardust for the Cosmic Kings or whatever that, like, come on now.
Yeah.
Just so much better use you could have of Wade Barrett than what they did.
During that Nexus thing, you could have made Wade Barrett world champion.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look,
But-
you still could have had Cena be the one to dismantle him.
Yeah.
But it could have been way down the line.
Yeah.
I used to love when he gave Bad News and they gave him that platform that raised up to the sky. And those were beautiful.
So I'm gonna go with two. I got two. One is, and I'm going both old school on this one. Rick Martel. This guy was the AWA World Heavyweight Champion for years, and they gave him such a crappy gimmick. He made it work. Don't get me wrong. The model Rick Martel was a great character. The other one that really upsets me is Dusty Rhodes in WWE. This is a man who is a multi-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. They saddled him with yellow polka dots and a racist manager called Sapphire. And I feel like it was Vince's way of saying, hey, look how I can make Dusty Rhodes look foolish.
Oh, yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Can I throw one more name out there?
Go ahead.
And I know you two all of you will agree, but Owen should have been world champion after Brett left.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
when Brett left WWF to go to WCW, and Owen had that mini feud with Shawn.
Yep.
I know I'm the biggest Shawn mark on this panel. They should have, even if it was just for like a month or two, they should have let Owen win the title.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Do we have a question
We have
from the
a
audience?
question from Caleb. What is your favorite ring entrance of all time?
Ooh. I'm going to go of all time. I'm going to go Osprey. I think
Really?
the music alone, so when I need to get pumped up, when I need to get jazzed, when I need to get energized, there's two wrestling songs that I listen to. I listen to Taz's from WWE, and I listen to Will Ospreay Elevation. It is, and how he comes out to the ring, how he points out to the audience. He does the United Empire symbol at the end. I get so freaking jazzed when the fans are just going, Ospreay, and it's just, oh God bless. Look, I got goosebumps just thinking about it. Canada Dry.
Mine is simple and it's obvious. It's Bret Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Boring.
I mean, that opening riff, though. Come on.
Yeah, that's that riff. That's that.
I think we should also pick a specific. You know what? I'm gonna pick a specific special entrance. Like I can't remember which WrestleMania number it was, but it was a year in San Francisco with the Sting and Triple H match. But actually, both entrances were sick. But Triple H's especially because it had the Terminator Arnold connection. Arnold saying "time to play the game" right before the entrance. All the freaking Terminator bots rising up onto the stage and stuff like that, with him wearing the freaking like his theme, but like a Terminator skull. Like that was probably the best WrestleMania entrance ever in my book.
Wasn't that bad either. The
Japanese the Japanese drum roll. Like I said, both pictures were sick.
Oh, they were beautiful. Rusev, Rusev coming out in the tank was pretty badass too.
That was dude.
Specialty ones, yeah. Joe.
There's so many, but one that I absolutely love that, to your point, gets me pumped.
Yeah.
Is Nakamura's WWE entrance. That violin.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
I for sure thought you were going to say Real American for Hulk Hogan.
No, but he's right. The first ever time when they played it for NXT in his match against Sami Zayn, that was dope. But there's one I want to talk about actually that pumped me up every time. RVD's walk entrance for ECW, because the whole crowd, they originated sing-along entrances. The whole crowd. Respect.
If we're going to go with ECW entrances, you can't not mention Enter Sandman.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that's another.
Or how about Dime Dial's page, self high five?
You're just ripping off of Nirvana.
Yep. Back in the Wild Wild West, when you could use basically anything to get away with it. Let's go to another question. Which WWE match is known to you for being the most emotional?
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Canada Dry first.
You always go to me when I'm not paying attention. What did you say?
Which WWE match is known for being the most emotional to you?
I think you got to go with probably Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels.
Oh, you took it right out of my mouth.
Yep, I'm sure that's all of our answers.
Oh yeah, because it's just I'm sorry, I love you, super kick.
Yeah, that's
okay. If that's your answer, that's fine. If you don't got,
I have a different one. That's not that. All
right, Showtime. What's yours?
Go to Joe first. Let me ponder.
Okay.
My second one is Shawn Michaels' retirement match with Undertaker.
Yeah.
Like, especially at the end where he's just looking up at him, like that symbol of him just trying to grasp on.
Yeah.
Like, and once again, my favorite wrestler. Yep. I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
So while we wait for Showtime to come up with an answer, would anyone like to acknowledge Elvis? Anyone?
No.
No.
I'll acknowledge him in one simple word. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No. That
Last time I checked, this was ask a question. We have the answers, not make a demand.
No, the question is, would you like to acknowledge him?
No, I would not like
that. That is a statement, not a question.
So, unfortunately, there's one with Eddie Guerrero. Unfortunately, that's been ruined. But then, crap! Now I just forgot the one I just thought of. Oh, Daniel Bryan when he won at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
that was really good. There you go.
Yeah, after going through the hell he went, making it look like he's like dead, dead in the water, even after beating Triple H and stuff like that. Especially when Batista and Randy Orton did the finisher on the table and stuff like that, and he still came back and with all the emotions because everybody saying he got screwed. Well, he did get screwed in that one rumble or earlier in that rumble, but
Yeah.
I'd have to say that was pretty.
I would say for Elvis, I don't think the match itself is emotional. I think the aftermath of Benoit and Guerrero embracing.
That's what I didn't want to mention that name, but that was like that was pretty emotional to have Eddie come out the other belt and stuff for that. And
Yeah.
Question by Matt B. Do you think Natalia Markova will win the NWA Women's title this year?
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope
Any
if
day.
not, what are they doing?
Well, I have this theory that they're afraid to put the title on her because then they'll lose her.
Yeah.
I thought she didn't sign a contract with them.
No, she's under contract now.
So why would they lose her?
Well, because when the contract's over.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my theory.
So my emotional one, besides the Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair match, which to me just almost brought me to tears, the one match that brought me to tears was when Danielson won the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, because I am such a huge Bryan Danielson mark. And I blubbered like a baby when he left Ring of Honor, but I blubbered like a baby even harder when he finally won that match, and he got to do it in front of his wife and his kids, and he did it in front of the man who most likely will take that reign from Danielson as being one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. He did it against Swerve. And I think Swerve is going to have a Danielson-like career where you are just going to be amazed every single match what this guy lays out on the line every day. But Danielson winning the AEW championship just brought me to tears.
Oh, dude, I came close too. I came really close.
Is Swerve winning the title against Mojo?
There you go.
I got one Cody. When Cody finally beat Reigns, and especially when everybody came out to the ring, that was beautiful. That was absolutely awesome.
You know what? I got one better. I think Cody winning the NWA World Title from Nick Aldis is more emotional.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, because that's his dad's belt. I mean, that was his daddy's belt, big time.
Yep.
That was freaking beautiful.
Who has a question?
Yeah.
Which wrestling moment made you rage quit?
Ooh, watching the same Raw week after week after week for like 3 months. I literally quit watching WWE about 3 months before AEW television debuted because I got tired of seeing the same show every week.
Yeah.
This isn't fun anymore. I'm done.
I don't know if it's rage quit, but I was unhappy with that ending of Swerve and Hangman. Just left a no feeling inside of me.
I got one, and it actually made me want to stop watching for a while. Goldberg versus The Fiend.
Oh, yeah.
That made me rage. I'm like, this was the fall, man. I was swearing at the TV after. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I think for me, it was just WWE at the end of the Attitude Era was just ridiculous. Like, it was so overly just. It was like a prescription, like a doctor just write. He doesn't want to hear about your symptoms. He's just going to write you a prescription. That's our American healthcare system in a nutshell. And that's what WWE was. They're like, oh, you're missing an arm. Here's some Robitussin. Rub it on the wound. You'll be all right. You'll grow back another arm. It's Robitussin.
The military just does water and 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. So.
There you go. See?
Well, the biggest problem was WWE at the time never had real competition, and that's when their competition they owned it. So
it was bad. Like when WCW went out of business, WWE just was horrible. I mean, there was times where I'd go a stretch a month or two without watching and never felt bad about it.
In the Roman Gladiator times, who will win in a fight, Bret Hart or Hulk Hogan? Bret Hart, because Hulk Hogan can't wrestle.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan.
I don't know, because
This is New Japan.
time he got weapons. I don't know. I don't know what kind of training either of them have outside of wrestling. So,
Well, Bret Hart's got a sharpshooter.
Hey, Bret
That kind of
Hart's
sharpshooter.
from, Bret Hart's from Canada. He's a lumberjack. He'll know how to wield an axe.
I think that's the end of the show, guys. What do you think?
Well, maybe let's get one more from Cora, and we'll wind her down.
All right, let's do one more for Corey. Here we go.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let's find a good one. What was the best WrestleMania of all time? Best WrestleMania of all time.
Let's go to EVP Joe, and I'll finish up.
Yeah, let's go to EVP Joe.
oh gosh. I guess I have to take the easy and say 17. That was a good one. Like, I this is something I'd have to research and do some.
It's hard. It's hard to come up with.
I can't just name matches off the top of my head, but I know like 15. Was it 17, 15, 17, 19?
Yeah,
was the Austin and Rock ones. So they're three very good manias. So
yeah. What about you, Showtime?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with I guess 18. What was the one at the Skydome?
I think that was 18.
That was it, yeah. Because the
one was Ultimate Warrior.
No, Hulk versus Rock.
Okay.
And then there was another Austin, and then who was I can't remember who the main event was, but just that match alone and the hype behind that match, and the fact that the crowd Rock's supposed to be the face and Hogan's supposed to be the heel, but during that match it became the other way around. Rock was getting booed out of that building while everybody was cheering for Hogan. It was that whole, and I can't remember every matches at the top of my head. Oh, Austin and Scott Hall was a somewhat decent of a match. And I can't remember the rest of it, but I just remember just that match alone and how much the crowd was into that match and stuff like that. I have to say that was probably one of the best WrestleManias.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 3.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
This was epic. Macho Man and Steamboat, epic. I don't know any other matches on that freaking card, but those two matches alone.
I mean, I can give you the list of the matches if you want.
Sure.
You had let's see. You had first match of the night, the Can-Am Connection, Rick Martel and Tom Zink versus Bob Orton Jr. in the Magnificent Morocco. Then you had Hercules versus
Billy Jack Haynes.
King Kong Bundy and his professional wrestling midget team of Lord Littlebrook and Little Tokyo against Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. The loser must bow match between Junkyard Dog and Harley Race. The Dream Team, Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine, with luscious Johnny V and a Canadian strongman Dino Bravo.
Oh, right, and this is Piper versus Adonis too.
Yeah, Piper versus Adonis was the next match after that. Danny Davis and the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. The Natural Butch Reed versus Coco Beware. Then you had Honky Tonk Man versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov versus the Killer Bees, and then you had the main event. Besides the Intercontinental Championship match.
But yeah, if this isn't big,
yeah,
it needed to be the biggest Mania at that point. If it's not,
yeah,
I don't think you paved the way for all future Manias.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure now coming back to 18, I'm pretty sure that had the most epic the TLC match or the Edge and Christian versus Hardy's table ladder match.
That was 17.
That was 17.
It was 17.
But the one with the
card right here.
Yeah, but 18 wasn't the one with the Dudley Boys though. Because I'm pretty sure they went back-to-back years on that. First year was just
all
the
I know is
Hardy.
at 17, it was Edge and Christian beat the Dudleys and the Hardys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This argument is bad TV, guys.
Well, real quick. So I looked up 17. First off, it has arguably the greatest video package in my way with Austin and The Rock.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that was good.
So it had Jericho and Regal for the IC title, the Hardcore Triple Threat, Kane, Big Show, and Raven.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
European title, Edge and Test, China and Ivory for the women's title, Shane versus Vince in the street fight.
Yeah.
The TLC, and then the greatest match ever, the Gimmick Battle Royal.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to WrestleMania 10.
Yeah.
It started and ended with Brett.
Yep.
And then, and then the last two matches was Undertaker, Triple H, and then Rock and Stone Cold for the title.
There you go.
Stone Cold.
But Shane, yours also had Taker versus Ric Flair.
Yeah.
In that no DQ match.
There you go.
That one was in Seattle.
What's that?
That one was in Seattle. I remember that year.
It does. Yeah, it was in Seattle. Guys, that's the end of our show. Mazel tov. We made it through another episode, Helen, and we only swore twice. Anyways, and they were both on me. I'll be willing to pay my fine at a later time. Anyways, I digress. You want to get in touch with us? There's multiple ways to do it. All the links are down below. You just clickety-clackety on your keyboard like that cat. It'll take you everywhere and anywhere that we're located. Now, if you want to do something to help out the show, we need you to wear our shirts. And the best way to go get our shirts is not on eBay or Temu. It's ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling, where you can get all of your effing wrestling gear. Shirts like, I don't know, like this one right here, the original middle finger shirt. Maybe you want to talk about Natalia Markova wearing our shirt, the All Effing Wrestling Show shirt. I mean, we have Sharpshooter Action. We got Mickey. We got Steamboat Willie. We got
AFWC Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have the best one, which is Just Keep Fighting. You can get all of those and more at ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of number 9, Showtime Shane, on behalf of that guy, the commish, I am the JFB.
Sometimes in life, you have to just get through things. Sometimes in life, stuff just sucks, and you just have to take step after step through the muck and the mire until you reach brighter shores. And that's why we say it. That's what we tell you. That's why we say it every single week. Put the devil in a sharpshooter, raise your fist in the air and say it with me. Just keep fighting.
Wrong one.
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/effing wrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at ProWrestlingTees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, effingwrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.